Hello everyone, my name is Lukael and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna rank some Pokemon. The first video I did of this was like 6-7 months ago. I really fell off. I took a hiatus because I moved and then I wanted to really get some playthroughs on the channel, but I did promise I was gonna rank every single Pokemon and I'm a man of my word, so it's time to come back to this. I don't know why my face looks so yellow right now. So just to reiterate, I am a casual Pokemon fan at best. Like, I'm mostly familiar with the first generation. I've played like a few games since, but I'm not like what you'd call a hardcore Pokemon fan. I just thought it would be a fun thing to do, and I did not realize what a huge undertaking this would be. Like, it took hours just to do the first generation, and I still have many more to go, but I said I was gonna do them all, and by God, or by Arceus, we're gonna rank them all. So if you haven't watched the first video yet, well, I suggest you do that to be all caught up on where we are right now. Just to get back on the tiers real quick, we got like peak Pokemon, which are my absolute favorite, then like awesome Pokemon, and then you have, they're great, and then it's okay, and then I feel nothing, which I just have no feelings about, and then not great, and then bad, and does not deserve any rights. And as I said, I'm not gonna rank all the alternate form because there's like so many, and like it feels kind of like cheating because most Pokemon don't have another form, so I'm ignoring these for now. And also, just to reiterate, this is a completely subjective tier list. There's no I have like zero objectivity in this. This is just like purely my personal taste and my personal bias, and like I'm not even ranking them based on the same things. It's just like, it's just a list for fun, so don't think too hard about it.
Just enjoy yourself.
Yes.
So we did the first generation. The first thing I kind of want to do is just like go through it real quick just to see how I feel about it like 6-7 months later, see if it still holds up. The main thing here is putting them in the tiers. The order that they're in is not as like, it's a little bit more loose. I think I'd put Golduck higher. I like Golduck more than Charizard. You know, I like Growlithe because he leads to Arcanine, but as a standalone, he's not all that interesting. I'm not sure why I put Growlithe so high. I'd put him maybe like here. It's like I'm judging them based on a lot of things, and all of them are subjective, but like for me, it's like how original is the design, how efficient is it? Of course, my own nostalgia and bias plays into it, but mostly I'm looking at it from like, is it creative? Is it original? Because if I look like something like PG, you know, it's a bird. So there's like, it's a cool looking bird, but, and I swear I'm not gonna say cool 500 fucking times like I did in the first video.
I think he's cool. He's not as cool as Venusaur. Kakuna is like the cooler Metapod. He does look cool. Pretty fucking cool. He's not as cool as the starter. It was so cool.
But it's a nice looking bird, but there's nothing like all that creative about it compared to something like, you know, a Venusaur. Anyone could come up with a bird, but not anyone could come up with a creature like a Venusaur, you know? So that's why, in fact, Ivysaur should be higher. Alright, look, these were completely arbitrary. I can't go back and like reevaluate every single decision I made because it's gonna take just as long. I have to move on. I have to trust Luke from 6 months ago. It is what it is. If I see any like glaring ones, I will move them, but let's just move on to Generation 2. So this is the Johto generation. Let's begin with the starters, with Chikorita. Chikorita is a pretty nice design. I like the evolution line, like it starts from a leaf and then it's got like the... on dirait des cigares choux. What's a cigar choux in English? It can't be straight up cabbage cigar. Oh my god, it is. Cabbage roll? The bay leaf looks like it has fucking cabbage rolls or cabbage cigars. I can't believe people call it that in English too, but... Anyways, you can see like the little dots, and then it turns into that, and then it becomes a flower, which is kind of weird. You'd think the flower would be on the head, and this would turn into... I don't know. But still, I like the evolutionary line. I guess it's supposed to be kind of a lizard? As I said, I'm mostly familiar with the first generation, so like, I definitely played this game, and I think that I played the game after that too, but I'm not as familiar with these, so it's gonna be kind of on a case-by-case review. But I like Chikorita. I think I would put him... Big Leaf. It's better than Oddish. I'm gonna put Chikorita right here. Then Bayleaf. So according to the Pokédex, if you sniff the leaves around a Bayleaf's neck, it makes you want to fight. Which sounds like sounds like something really dangerous. Like you're just cuddling with your Bayleaf and then you sniff and you just like want to deck someone. It's a natural evolution of Chikorita. I don't want to call every Pokemon cool looking. I need to find some fucking synonyms. But it looks cool. You know, that's what it looks like. It looks cool and it looks like a natural evolution of Chikorita. For a lot of these that I don't feel strongly about, because like for most standard evolutionary line, their appearance looks pretty similar. So if I feel one way about one of them, often I'm kind of just want to slot them all together. Like, I think I did that for a few of them. I do like Bayleaf more than Chikorita. I'm gonna put him here. Alright, we gotta pick up the pace because it's gonna take so fucking long. Meganium. Okay, for some weird reason, the aroma from its petals calms people instead of making them aggressive, so it's like... Okay. I actually think Meganium's kind of a downgrade. Like, it's not as cool as Bayleaf. It's got some antennas now for some reason. Now he's got a big flower. It's kind of... We've seen the Bulbasaur line do this already, so... Let's put him before Ivysaur, which... I'm not sure why I put Ivysaur so low. Articuno's way too high. I've been hard on Jigglypuff. It's a pretty iconic Pokemon. I also do like... Shit, now I'm second guessing all of my picks. Shit. Okay, I have to respect the picks I did before. Meganium. We're only 3 Pokemons in. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna leave Meganium here, right behind. Put Ivysaur up here. I mean, he's better than okay. I like him better than Jigglypuff. Here. That's where Meganium goes. Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is a cute design. It's a fire mouse Pokemon, which doesn't really look like a mouse. It doesn't even have a tail. It's closer to a Sandshrew than a mouse, because like it curls up, it curls itself into a ball, and then when it feels attacked, it shoots fire from its back, which is a cute little gimmick. It's a good starter here. I like him a little better than Chikorita. I feel like maybe some of these should be bumped up into awesome. Like, I call this peak Pokemon, but it's really more my just personal favorites, because a lot of these are peak Pokemon. Like, I think all of this row, that's kind of peak Pokemon to me. Maybe I should just call this, like, my personal favorites. And then call this, like, peak Pokemon. Maybe that will help me. Alright, let's just move on. Quilava. If you see me looking to the sides, it's because I'm also reading their entry on Bulbapedia, just because I don't want to forget anything. According to the Pokédex, Quilava can withstand any fire attack, which... I don't know about that. I don't think so. It's a cute design. It feels very much like a mid-evolution. He looks like a teenage version of Cyndaquil, which fits its role. I think it's okay. I've never had much attachment to Quilava. I can't say I've ever really thought about Quilava. But again, see, that's the nostalgia talking. I feel like all the original Pokemon are kind of more... I have more attachment to than this. Here you go. That's where you go. Then we got Typhlosion. Or is it Typhlosion? Ghost Fang. Oh, it's a Hisuian form. Oh, it becomes a ghost type. That's pretty sweet. But we're ranking the default form for now. And I've always liked it. It's like a huge badger, so it's meant to look like really angry. Again, that's kind of all I ask of Pokemon lines, like natural evolution line that makes sense, and you see their first form, and then you see their last one. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's a logical evolution. I think he belongs in the greats. I have to try and not rank them based purely on my attachment, like my nostalgic attachment, because I have way more attachment to the original generation, so I'm gonna try not to let that... I mean, of course this whole list is biased, but I'm trying to be a little objective. I'm gonna put him here. I like Typhlosion. You know what? I'm just gonna open a Thesaurus and look at synonyms for cool. Excellent. Neat. Swell. Marvelous. Sensational. I don't feel like any of these really works for cool. Alright, next. Totodile. A big jaw Pokemon. I like Totodile a lot. I like that his whole gimmick, it's got a lot of spunk, he's got a lot of personality in the design, that comes through, which I like. And I like that the whole gimmick is about its jaw. It's got like a very strong jaw, and that's like the whole kind of gimmick. But it's better than a lot of these, I would say. I'm gonna put him like here. Maybe I should move some of these up, you know? Blastoise I put very high just purely out of respect for the design, but I'm not personally, I've never really been a big fan of Blastoise personally. And I remember in the original video I kept moving him up. I think he definitely belongs in peak Pokemon. So does Abra, so does Beedrill, Butterfree, Charmander, Squirtle, Pidgeot, Venusaur, sure, Eevee, sure, Ninetales. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Then got Croconaw. I get what they wanted to do here. It's supposed to look like a fucking Flintstones character, which I think he looks hideous, but I respect it. Like, I think it's so funny. It's so funny that they have him look like a little caveman. Other than that, it's just like, oh, he's got a big jaw and blah blah blah. So I almost want a funny category. He's okay, I guess. He's not as generic as Quilava. So I'm gonna put him up here just because like it's a little more original, and it's funny, but I can't say I'm a big fan of how he looks. And then you got Feraligatr. Feraligatr just looked like scary. If I was a trainer, I'd be like, oh god, that's a scary one. It apparently moves very fast despite its huge size. He definitely looked like a third form. Because Totodile has so much personality that just going to this big, like kind of mindless, angry looking crocodile feels kind of like a downgrade. I feel like I'd rather just keep my Totodile for the whole time. But it's a better third evolution than most. I'm gonna put it right here ahead of Wartortle. Next we got Sentret. It's a sentry ferret. I love all these names that are just puns. So the whole gimmick is like it's a ferret that stands on its tail to look out, which is simple enough, but as the basic like cannon fodder mammal early game Pokemon that you keep running into, it works, and it's cute. It's nothing really that special. I'm gonna put him right here behind Chansey. And then Furret. Furret has a lot of personality. It just looks adorable. It weirdly doesn't have a nose for some reason, but it's fun to see it like moving around like a snake, and it's really adorable. It's got the little marks on the cheeks. Furret's really cute. I would put him pretty high. I'm gonna put him right here. I'm trying to go faster on these, so just like gonna drop it there. Like not think too hard about it. Then we got Hoot Hoot. So it's all about like, apparently it keeps time perfectly, and it even says that some people use it instead of a clock, so I guess the design is meant to look like a clock with the hands. I think it's a nice design. It's a little more than okay. It's pretty unique looking, so how about here? Sure, why not? But then Noctowl. Okay, first of all, Noctowl is fucking huge. Like when I originally saw the design, I was like, oh, it's probably like a little bigger than a Hoot Hoot. But no, it's fucking 5 feet tall. It's fucking huge. For me, Noctowl, he's one of my personal favorites. Like when I make up a team and I need a flying type, I tend to go for Noctowl just because it's a giant fucking owl and I love owls and it just looks awesome. I can't really justify it beyond that, but I just really like Noctowl, so I'm putting him up here in my personal favorites. This is kind of like the super biased here. Like I'm not saying necessarily that they're better than, although I am saying that, but I'm not necessarily saying that they're better than all of these other ones. It's just that they're personally my favorites. Next one is Ladybug. Ladybug? A 5-star Pokemon. I don't know why it's called that. There's not much to this one. It's a big ladybug. That's kind of all it is. It's like the epitome of it's okay. It's a very neutral design. I mean, it is cute, I guess. It's got like big googly eyes. It's fucking 3 feet tall for a ladybug. You'd think they would make it like really small. Can you imagine living in a Pokemon world where like every insect is like as big as you? You know what? I need to put Centret higher than that. And that also deserves to be higher. You know what? For Alligator, I was a little hard on. Why don't you go like over here? Here, I guess. It evolves into Ledian. It's just kind of the same design, but it looks kind of like a little superhero or something. Like it has a helmet, which is a nice little touch. I'm gonna put him in its grid. I would say it's a pretty great design. Like as far as bug Pokemon go, it's one of the better ones. Especially since you're meant to have it pretty early in the game. Like that's a cool Pokemon to have early on. I thought I had way more Pokemon and I feel nothing. Seadra, I honestly feel nothing about. Alright, let's move on to Spinarak. It's a little spider, which, when you think about it, is really surprising that they didn't have a spider Pokemon in the first generation, because it's such a like typical generic look for a creature to have it look like a spider. It only has 6 legs, which it fails the very first step of being a spider. And it has a smiley face on its back. I just realized that. Apparently it uses a web to capture prey, but it's only like 50 centimeters big. How big is that? Like this? So what could it capture? There's not like a lot of Pokemon that are smaller than that. Honestly, I don't really feel anything about this thing. Well, if the assignment was like make a spider Pokemon, I guess it works. Fits the bill. Fits the bill just about as well as this one, so let's put him with Ladybug. And then it evolves into Ariados. Ariados is pretty fucked up. According to the Pokédex, it attaches silk to its prey and sets it free, and then later it tracks the silk to the prey and its friends. It's pretty fucked up, dude. And then it also says a single strand of string is endlessly spun out of its rear. And the string leads back to its nest, so it's like, you're really easy to find. I just find a string and then you just pull on it and you can just find the Ariados. Okay, so its gimmick is that it's supposed to look... You're supposed to be able to see it either from the front or back, and it looks like a creature either way. So that's why it's got like 2 little things up like it's attacking, I guess. And then it's got the dart like it's the back. I guess that's kind of clever. I don't really feel anything about it, but I like the concept. So I would put him in okay, at least. You can put him at the top here. Then we got Crobat, which evolves from Golbat. And also Crobat is fucking massive as well. It's like 6 feet. I don't really feel like Crobat accomplishes much as a design that Golbat and Zubat didn't already. It's just bigger, and I guess it's faster. It's more like flight efficient. It's okay. Drive it like somewhere around here maybe. Next we got Chinchou. So Chinchou, the concept is like it has 2 antennas because one shoots out like positive, the other negative. I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel much of anything about Chinchou. Like the concept of an anglerfish and all this kind of stuff is really cool, has a lot of potential, but it's just kind of a nothing design. But then you have Lantern. It says the light it emits is so bright that it can illuminate the sea surface from a depth of 3 miles. They really went fucking crazy with these Pokédex descriptions, didn't they? I think the design's a little better than Chinchou. I do find his face weird though, like what? The fact it has these kind of eyes on a fish is weird to me, and I can't really explain why. I mean, is it better than Chinchou? It's like a really generic shape. It's got a bit of yellow on the tail for some reason. It's supposed to emit a lot of light, but it's just got like little balls. And I feel like there was a lot of potential for a cool anglerfish, and this one ain't it. I would go as far as to say it's not great. I don't really feel anything about Weepinbell either. Or Zubat. Next we have Pichu. So they made a new Pokemon game, and then they were like, well shit, we already have Pikachu, so what's gonna be like our cute mascot this time? And they were like, well, what if we made like a tiny Pikachu? What if we made Pikachu even cuter? I would say they've I can't say if they've really accomplished that, because it's definitely it definitely has like a more cute shape, but it's also a derivative of an existing one. And to me that loses points. It's definitely not as iconic, of course, as Pikachu, because Pikachu is like the most iconic Pokemon, but the idea that it's not skilled at storing electricities, it works. It makes sense for like a baby type Pokemon. It's in Smash, and I fucking hate playing it in Smash because it takes damage just by attacking, which is stupid. I feel like I'm gonna be hard on Pichu. Like, it's definitely adorable, but it's also very derivative. I guess you can like gatekeep the okay category. If it just came alone, like as a standalone, if they just came up with Pichu out of the blue and were like, okay, that's our mascot, I would be like, oh, that's really cute. But we already have Pikachu, you know? Next is Cleffa. Yeah, this whole concept in Silver and Gold of like baby type Pokemon, which, I mean, it makes sense, but why would only certain Pokemon have a baby version? Like what does a young Onix look like? Like what does a young Abra look like? You would just assume they're like smaller, so the fact that some of them have a baby form and others don't is kind of weird to me. I guess it was a tie into a new gameplay mechanic where they wanted to allow you to breed eggs, and that was kind of tied into it, but I'm not a big fan of the baby types. The Pokédex says that because of its star-like silhouette, people believe it came from the space, which is fucking stupid, because even stars are not star-shaped. I mean, I get what they're going for. It's a star-shaped baby Clefairy. There you go. Igglybuff. Okay, Cleffa works as a baby Clefairy. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a baby Clefairy. It becoming a Clefairy makes perfect sense. Igglybuff is fucking hideous. I hate looking at it. I hate how its eyes are fucking red, even though Jigglypuff has blue eyes. I hate how it has a weird fucking spiral on its face. It's just hideous. And I never really thought about it until now. But I fucking hate this thing. I'm gonna put him right there at the bottom of bad. It still has rights because it's a baby, but... Togepi. Togepi does have the one thing where it was in the anime that we all watched, so it got a bit of characterization from there. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna have to get to Togetic first. Togepi alone makes sense. It's like, it's a Pokemon that came out of an egg, and then the pieces of the egg are still around it. It's like that scene in Jurassic Park where like they take the fucking shell pieces away from the Velociraptor. So I understand the design, and in the show it had like this random aspect to it where like it would randomly do something like with its psychic power, which was kind of fun. So I would say Togepi, it's okay. Or maybe like somewhere here. Togetic, however, because like I remember in the show they had Togepi, and then we were like, oh, I wonder if it's ever gonna, because it's obviously a baby, so you're like, what's it gonna evolve into, and you try to imagine it like coming out of the egg, but then it turns into Togetic. Why does it still have the mark of the egg on its body? Why is it still shaped like an egg, but it's just like has limbs that protruded out? I don't like how it looks. It's so stupid to me. Like, I guess it's because they wanted to tie it in with how the egg looked, but it's like, it's out of the egg now, we're done. Time to move on. It shouldn't look like that still. Like, it looked misshapen. It doesn't look like something that should exist. Like, I wouldn't say that I hate it, but I think it's not great. I would definitely put it like, maybe here. Sorry, Togetic. Natu. A tiny bird Pokemon. It's extremely small. As far as bird Pokemon go, it's pretty unique. It's got like an interesting looking face. It's got like this little... like it's just kind of staring at things. As we see, it's very, very simple design, but I think it works. I would definitely say it's okay. Drop it here, maybe. I don't want to be too picky on where in the ranks I put them, so... But then you have Xatu. Xatu? Oh, it's got a face on its belly. Okay, so apparently it's meant to look like a Kachina doll. I just thought it looked like an artisan, you know, like someone wearing like an apron or something. It's also very big, at almost 5 feet tall. They say that it's quiet because it's seeing both the past and future at the same time. So we got fucking Dr. Manhattan here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The Silver Pokédex says that in South America, the right eye sees the future and the left eye views. In South America, multiple Pokédex entries say that. But Pokemon doesn't take place on Earth. Why did they mention South America? What the fuck? Okay, well, that weird bit aside. I do like Xatu. I mean, I don't like it that much, but it's an interesting look. It's definitely more creative than something like a PG or a Sparrow, so... I would say maybe here. Then we have Mareep. Mareep is an adorable one. It's another thing where like, oh, of course, a sheep. It just seems so obvious, you know? But then to make it electric is an interesting idea. Because like, the wool would like store all the static electricity, so it makes sense. Plus, it's just an adorable design. I like it a lot. I would say maybe like here. I think it's a really great one. So apparently Fluffy loses patches of wool because of storing too much electricity. Alright. But if my Mareep turned into a Fluffy, I'd just kind of be disappointed. It's like, you're just less cute now. It's just a downgrade. I mean, it makes sense as a midway point to the Ampharos, which doesn't have any wool anymore, and we'll get to that. But Fluffy... I mean, I can't say it's a bad design because it makes sense for what it's supposed to be. But I don't really like how it looks. You can go at the bottom here. Then Ampharos, which Mega Ampharos, not great looking. 4 feet tall Ampharos. I just don't understand why it doesn't have any wool anymore. Like, what's the idea here? Okay, apparently its tail gives up so much light that it can be seen from space. Someone needs to stop the writers for the Pokédex, because these people are just going fucking crazy. Like, they're writing SCPs instead of Pokemon. Like, some descriptions say, oh, you can see it from really far away as like a beacon. It's like, alright, that's fair enough. You can see it from space, like, let's calm down. it's calm down time. I don't really like Ampharos. I think it's a huge downgrade to have like a cute sheep and then just have like this bipedal creature with like fins for arms. Actually, I would say Ampharos is not... Fluffy's not great, and Ampharos is not great either. I don't know if he's like a popular Pokemon usually, but I don't like it. It's a big downgrade on Mareep, so I don't know, that's my opinion. Bellossom was one of the first new Pokemon we saw back in the day, I remember. So it looks like a little Hawaiian dancer. It's got like the petal skirt, the flowers on the head. It's simple, but it's very clever. And it's also very cute, and as a leaf type Pokemon, it works. So for me, it checks off all the boxes for a good Pokemon design. I would say it's really good. It's really good. I would put him pretty high. Bellossom's, it really works, I think. Then you got Marill, the old legend of the Pokeblue. Oh man, if you're old enough to remember that, you may be eligible to a senior discount. Like I am. I remember the old days of the Pokeblue rumor, and then it turned out to be Marill. And Marill is cute. It's also a kind of a derivative of Pikachu, but water Pokemon that floats because it's a ball. So it's a simple premise, but it does work as such. Like, it uses the tail to float. Maybe somewhere around here. I'm not too difficult on it. And then Azumarill. I don't think Marill really needed an evolution. I don't think Azumarill accomplishes anything new that Marill didn't already. It's one of these like useless evolution to me that just... Like, the original is just fine. They didn't need another form. It's got bunny ears now instead of mouse ears, which... It goes from a mouse to a bunny, which makes no sense. As a standalone, it's fine, but because it's an evolution of Marill, to me it's not great. Again, this isn't just, I'm not judging him, I'm not judging the Pokemon just based on them standalone. I'm judging him based on like where they fit in the evolution line, where they fit among like the greater Pokemon roster that we had, at least at the time of their appearance. Sudowoodo. So, Sudowoodo, the whole gimmick is that it looks like a tree, but it's actually a rock. And like that's it. That's all there is to this Pokemon. There's nothing else. Like, it looks like a tree. Oh, it's a rock. The end. It's not very interesting. Like, that's all that most of its Pokédex entry says, too, so... I don't feel anything about Sudowoodo. It exists. I can certainly say it exists. Then there's Politoed. I'm really glad that they addressed the fact that fucking Poliwhirl never evolves into a frog, which was really weird in the original line, where it just evolves into this huge, angry, boxing blue thing in Poliwrath, which I never was a fan of. At least they proceeded to give it a frog form, and it's got the little swirl, so it makes sense. The thing is, though, why does it just become a tiny frog, but then if it becomes Poliwrath, it's fucking huge, it's like big like a person. So it should have maybe become like a bigger frog, because Politoed's only like 3 feet. Yeah, I guess that's big enough. Other than that, it's just kind of a generic frog, but I don't think the first generation had any frog really. Poliwhirl's there. It's at least as good as Poliwhirl, which it evolves from. You know, it closed its evolution line neatly. Next is Hoppip. The idea with Hoppip is it gets carried away in the wind, and it's a plant. Again, very simple. I don't really feel anything about it, to be honest. It's there. It then evolves into Skiploom, which again, very generic looking. It fills the same role as Hoppip, which is just a grass type that gets carried in the wind. So you can get right here alongside your previous form. Jumpluff. So Jumpluff, at least, it's got the big like dandelion things. You see it and you instantly think of, oh, it gets carried in the wind, then it spreads its seed, and like it fits in better with the whole theme of a grass type that flies. It's like a big blueberry with dandelions attached, which is not great, but at least it makes sense. I'll give it a little point just because it got the dandelions, so it's a little better than the 2 others, I guess, but not by much. And we got Apom. Apom looked fucking horrifying in the Detective Pikachu movie, but that's not really specific to it. Nearly every Pokemon looked fucking horrific in that movie. They are not meant to look realistic. So the whole concept with Apom is it's a little monkey, and it's got a 3rd hand on its tail, and that's kind of all the gimmick is. The thing is, it doesn't really look like a hand. It looks like a sphere with like appendages coming out. If it actually looked like a hand, I think I would like it better. I guess it's alright. I would say it's okay. Can drop it here maybe. Sunkern. It's a seed with a little helicopter leaf, a little propeller. I don't know, something about the face looks pretty unique, especially for a leaf, for a grass type. The Pokédex mentions that it's very weak and cannot really defend itself, which begs the question, why does it even exist? But I get it, it's a seed, it's okay, but I can't say I feel much about it. I'd even put him behind this one. I feel just enough to say I'm positive about it. Then you got Sunflora, which to me just looks like it's almost like an evolution of Bellsprout, because they have very similar shapes. It's got the little feet, the 2 leaves on the side, and then like a little happy face. I've never thought twice about Sunflora. It's one of these where like most of the time I forget it exists. I guess it's alright. I guess it's a little better than Sunkern. At least like I can believe this one survives and exists on its own. So you can go right here above Sunkern. Then we got Yanma, which is a huge ass dragonfly. And that's kind of all there is to it, but they didn't have a dragonfly and now they have one. It can apparently flap its wings so fast that it shatters windows in the area. Jesus. It also says that it can see in all directions without moving its eyes, so you'd think they would give it like huge eyes that go all around its head, but it just got like the little tiny eyes. I wonder in what order they do these. Like, do they design the Pokemon and then come up with a description, or do they come up with the concept first and then they... You would think they come up with the concept and then they design it. So if so, they cared more about it being cute than it making sense with what it's supposed to be, because it should have bigger eyes. But I digress. It's all right. It's a dragonfly. There's not much more to it than that. Can come here. Then we got Wooper. I think everyone loves Wooper because it's just so adorable. It's so expressive. It's got the big old smile, and it is cool that it's based on like an axolotl. Just because of how adorable and goofy it looks, I would put it pretty high. Let's put it here, maybe. It then evolves into Quagsire. Now, Quagsire is more just of a kind of generic amphibian looking thing, because the previous one is you can tell what it is, but this one is just kind of a... It's just there, and it's just got like the fucking Ditto face where it just like, you know, has this very dumb look on its face. The Pokédex says it's easygoing, carefree, and it's okay. That's as much as I can say about it. I guess it's okay. Can drop it here. Espeon. Espeon was the first time we realized, oh, so there's gonna be more EV evolutions than just the 3 we already knew. It's got a dump truck ass on this picture. They say it's extremely loyal, it's got like psychic power. It's a really elegant design, which I'm always a fan of. I think it definitely belongs in peak Pokemon, even though it's overall a fairly simple design. I would drop it like here maybe? I don't know if that's too high or not high enough, but Umbreon. Umbreon is extremely popular. I see it all the time. You almost wonder why they didn't have the rings around its limbs instead of just a circle on top. For me, the circles always look kind of weird. It just makes me think of like a Sonic ring. If it had rings around its limbs, I think it could look a little cooler. But it's still very nice looking. It definitely deserves to be pretty high. Do I like it more or less than Espeon? For me, I think I like Espeon a little better. Umbreon can drop here, I think. Murkrow. I really like Murkrow. I like that it wears like a little hat. It looks like it's got like a witch hat. It's very expressive. It's got like a more unique look than some of the other bird Pokemon. I like Murkrow a lot. It's very small. I thought it was bigger than that. I don't know if I would put him in my personal faves. I would put him maybe even this high. I think higher than that. I like Murkrow. Damn, I like him more than I thought. I think I would put him all the way up here. Alright, let's pick things up. Slowking. I'm not sure why they... Whoa. Galarian Slowking? Whoa. That's my first time seeing that. It's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Okay, just Slowking. I remember Slowking first appearing in the Lugia movie. And we're all like, that's not a Slowbro, the fuck is that? It is huge. Like 6 feet tall. I remember it talked in the movie too. I guess it's just like this wise kind of sage. My god, the Pokédex says that every time it yawns, Shelter injects more poison into it, and the poison makes it more intelligent. Toxins entered Slowpoke's head and unlocked an extraordinary power. It undertakes research every day to solve the mysteries of the world. However, it forgets everything it has learned if the shelter comes off. It's so funny that in all these forms of Slowbro and Slowking and Slowpoke, they keep calling it a shelter even though it doesn't look like a shelter at all anymore. Is that still supposed to be a shelter? There's a lot going on with this design, and I kind of enjoy the fact that there's so much going on. Like, it went from just a Slowbro to actually standing up and being like, oh, it's actually smart now. Plus the shell now looks like a crown. It's got the thing that looks like a, you know. There's a lot going on, but it's cool. Don't say cool. It's great. So let's put it in great. I guess let's drop it here. Misdreavus. I used to really like Misdreavus in Pokemon Stadium 2 because it was one of the few Pokemons that had Shadow Ball by default, and the animation for Shadow Ball looked really cool. But other than that, I've kind of cooled down on it. It's like a girly Ghastly. Like it doesn't have any arms, it's just a floating head, just like Ghastly was, but it's more like flowy and, you know. But I do like how it looks. It is a little derivative of Ghastly, but I do like how it looks a little better. Here? Sure. Then you get Unknown. The whole thing with the unknowns and they're all like different symbols and it's like... I get the concept. It's almost more like a branding thing, so they could put like Unknown in a bunch of games, like these mystery dungeons shit and like in the movies, and like I get it. I don't really like it. Like it's always stuck on walls and deformed symbols. It's like, did it really need to be alive though? Does it need to, like, does anyone use Unknown in the games? I guess you can collect the different shapes of it. I'm not really a big fan. It's really just a gimmick. It's like Electrode was a gimmick. Then you get Wobbuffet. Another one that had the chance to be in the anime. Of course, my own bias is that I only watched the anime up to around that part. I didn't see any of the later animes, which is still going to this day, I think. Holy shit. I like Wobbuffet because the concept is good. It's stuck to the ground and it's based on like these little punching bags that just like always comes back up. I would definitely say it's okay. I'd put it here. Girafarig. A very interesting idea. It's like it's a giraffe. Like it's got something at the front and the back, and its name itself is a palindrome. And like they took the idea of a palindrome and like made that the design, but it's not identical in the front and back, and you couldn't mistake the back for the front really just because it's got a face on it. So they didn't go all the way with it. Its tail has a small brain of its own. That's fucked up. It's not a Pokemon I would like to own as a trainer. It's just, apparently the tail just reacts to sound and smell. It should be to what it sees because it has eyes. It's a very weird Pokemon to me. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's alright. I feel somewhat positive about it. I think I'd put it around here. Pineco. They really just said Pinecone, just take one syllable out, Pineco. There you go. Didn't really think too hard about this one. It's literally just a Pinecone. Except it's a bug Pokemon? Oh, I thought it was like a leaf Pokemon. Isn't the whole deal that like it keeps exploding? All the Pokédex entries just say it hangs from a tree and waits for prey and doesn't move much. All I remember from it is that it keeps exploding. There's not really much to say about Pineco, is there? Do I feel positive or negative, or do I feel nothing at all? I don't really feel anything at all. There you go. Pineco. Fortress. Talk about a Pokemon I forgot existed. Oh, it evolves from Pineco? So you have a Pinecone, which is somehow a bug Pokemon, and then it evolves into a fucking rock? So it's bug and steel? What a weird idea. It has no limbs, it's just like a shell with eyes. What lurks inside the armor is a total mystery. It shoots out bits of its shell to drive enemies away. That sounds really boring. Whenever I see something like Fortress, I have to ask, is that someone's favorite Pokemon? Like, does someone go, oh yeah man, Fortress! That's my favorite, like, my whole team is Fortress. Like, it's not great. Yeah. Like, Dunsparce. Another very weird one. Like, that we're kind of getting into weird Pokemons of Generation 2. Is it supposed to... Like, what is it supposed to be? It's not a snake, and it's a normal type. I thought it was a rock type. I'm so... Did I imagine that? Didn't it used to be a rock type or like a ground type, and they changed it to normal? Buries into the ground. Yeah, I thought it was a ground type, but apparently it's a normal type. It's kind of all it does is it buries itself underground. So that's the whole concept of the Pokemon. It's 5 feet tall. So it's a fucking 5 feet long giant snake thing that buries underground. And it's not a ground type. It has like wings. What the fuck is this? Like, I knew about Dunsparce, but I'd never really taken time to think about it. I'm so confused by this Pokemon. I want to put him like at the bottom of OK just because it's so puzzling to me that it's almost interesting. But how is it not a ground type? Anyways, moving on. Gligar. When I was young, I always thought Gligar evolved from Golbat. So it was like all these bat types, they were all like blue and purple and they all kind of looked similar. But no, apparently this one is this... Oh, so this one is ground and flying? What the fuck? So it's like a bat and a scorpion put together. Oh, that's kind of cool. It flies straight at its target's face, then clamps down and injects poison. That sounds fucking horrifying. Like, shouldn't it be flying poison? Like, they keep talking about it having poison, but then it's a flying ground type. What the fuck does ground have to do with it? Some of these types are confusing. Other than that, it's a cool design. It's a bat and a scorpion, which is really... I can't say cool. It's very scrumptious. It's neat! I like Gligar more than I thought. I'm gonna put him this high, I guess. I didn't think I liked it that much, but now that I take the time to look at it, it's very nice. Next we have Steelix. Oh wow, look at Mega Steelix. Damn. It's like ascending to a higher state of being. Holy shit. Steelix is fucking 30 feet long. Its body has been compressed deep underground. It is harder than Diamond, but you can defeat it with a fucking Eevee, I bet. It is said that if an Onix lives for 100 years, it changes to be Steelix. Wow. I love the Pokédex description that sound like an SCP. Where it's like, it can dig over 6 miles underground. I did think it was pretty cool that Onix got an evolution, but I don't really feel strongly about it. I can't even really tell which one I like most. I mean, Onix is the original. Onix is the original. But it is cool that a giant rock snake then becomes steel and it's like even harder. But because Onix is the original, I'm gonna put him ahead. And I'll put Steelix right behind it. Next is Snowball. Another one that we saw in the movie first. I remember it in the movie they showed these Pokemon and then there was Snowball and I was like, what the fuck is this? That's not a Pokemon. We've never seen this one before. It's a fairy type, interesting. It's like a little bulldog. Although it looks frightening, it is actually kind and affectionate. It is very popular among women. Okay. Many women like to frolic with it because of its affectionate ways. Don't you just love to frolic? I know I do. So it's just like this tiny little dog. I can get behind that. It's okay. It has a more distinctive look than most. I'm gonna put Snowball here. Then you got Granbull. It is scary as fuck. It doesn't look very nice. Again, the Pokédex says it is actually timid and easily spooked. I feel like Snowball was really cute and it could have just stayed a single evolution. Did it really need a second form? I'm not sure. I don't really like Granbull. Like, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just... Would you want one? I don't want one. Yeah, I would put him that low. Sorry, Granbull. Quillfish. Hisuian Quillfish looks very nice. I mean, it looks almost the same, but something about the color scheme looks more final. Like, Quillfish looks like the concept, and then Hisuian Quillfish is like the final result, the final design. I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel anything about Quillfish. Like, it's not a bad design or anything. It's just there. Yeah. Oh boy, now we have Scissor. I believe Scissor is also a very popular Pokemon. Mega Scissor. Holy crap. And that looks a fucking Power Rangers villain if I've ever seen one. When Scissor came out, like, I remember people saying like, oh, it's like a Scyther but even cooler, and I would agree with that, I think. It's a little more insect-like. Scyther, it's kind of not really that insect-like, it's more like a lizard. The Pokédex says that its wings are not used for flying, but instead flapped at high speed to regulate its temperature, which is stupid. Scissor is very popular, and I can see why. I think he definitely belongs in peak Pokemon. I think I would even put him this high. I'm not... Like, there's many Pokemon I like more than Scissor, but if I look at it, I still have to admit it's a really good design. Shuckle. Not known to evolve into or from any Pokemon, it's just Shuckle. And it's a bug rock? Bug, really. Huh. Bug type. You wouldn't think that from looking at it. It's a turtle. Or does it just look like a turtle? It's not actually a turtle. That's actually interesting. So it's like this kind of goopy creature that's in a shell that makes it look like a turtle when it's not actually one. Huh. I mean, I guess that's something. Why don't you keep company to a Dunsparce here? You guys are kind of following the same boat as far as I'm concerned. Heracross. I like the idea of Heracross a lot. It's a giant beetle. When we were kids, I feel like we were all fascinated by these giant fucking beetles that would like fight with their horns like a rhinoceros beetle. The thing with Heracross is it looks like it has a little mouth, which gives it kind of a funny look. Thrusts its horn on their enemies and lifts and throw them. I wouldn't personally ever use a Heracross, but I think it definitely fits a role. And it's a Pokemon that you look at it and you're like, that definitely should exist. It's more than okay. It's a pretty great idea to have a giant beetle like that. Here, maybe somewhere around here. Sneasel. I remember when I first saw Sneasel, I really liked it. But now the asymmetry of the head kind of annoys me. I would like it if it had the two ears. The ear feather. Okay, it's a feather. Why would it have feathers? It's definitely not a bad design. I would say it's pretty great. Sneasel. Can go maybe around here. I believe it has an evolution, and I think I like the evolution better than this one. So I guess we'll get to that later. Teddiursa. It's a little teddy bear. Moon. It's in the same kind of vein as Snowball and Granbull with its evolution. It's like, oh, it starts out really small and adorable and then becomes really big and kind of scary. I think they just wanted a cute little teddy bear, and it definitely fits that role. There's not really that much to it. Can drop around here, maybe? Then Ursaring. So it drops all the cute shit and it just becomes serious and just like a full actual fucking bear. And really, other than the ring, it's just kind of a straight up bear. There's not like much more to it than that. For me, it kind of fits the same bill as like a Tauros, where it's like, it's almost just literally what, like the animal that it's based on. It's like more or less a straight up bear, which makes me not feel much about it. I mean, it's okay, I guess. Better than these fucking things. Well, then again, it's not as interesting. I guess maybe around here. Slugma. It's a slug made of magma. It never sleeps, it has to keep moving because if it stopped, the magma body would cool and harden. That sounds pretty horrifying. What the fuck? Okay, so the Pokédex entry says it never sleeps because it has to keep moving, but then the Emerald Pokédex says to avoid its body cooling, it sleeps near magma. So which fucking is it? I mean, I like the concept. They wanted to make a magma Pokemon. They're like, what if we made a slug? And then the slug becomes an actual snail with the shell. I think that's really cool. I mean, it's not that amazing, but you know, it's alright. Like, it could have jumped straight to a Magcargo. I mean, it's more creative than a straight up Dragonfly. and this, and this. I think I'd drop him here. Then Magcargo. Now that's straight up, it's a snail made of lava and its shell is a rock. To me, that's a brilliant idea. It doesn't really grow much bigger than Slugma, which is a shame. Its body temperature is approximately 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 10,000 degrees Celsius. What's the temperature of the sun real quick? Okay, so apparently the surface, the core of the sun is 27 million degrees. But the surface of the sun is only 10,000 degrees, so the fucking Magcargo is hotter than the surface of the sun. You think maybe you went a little overboard with that? But again, I really like the concept of a magma snail. So I would put him pretty high. I mean, it's creative, which I like. I put a lot of points for creativity. Sometimes I put things high just because they're cute, sometimes just because they're creative, original, elegant, cool looking. Oh, I like my cargo more than I thought. Let's put him like here. Sweetnub! An ice and ground. Interesting combination. It uses the tip of its nose to dig for food. So does it not have limbs at all? Like, how does it move? It is really cute, but it's also kind of lazy. It's so simple looking. It almost bothers me. It's okay. You can go at the bottom here. I mean, it is cute. Does that count for something? Hitmonlee is the gatekeeper here. He just kicks away anything that's not cooler than him. It's like, no. You guys just stay the fuck back there. You know, it's just so simple looking. There's just so little to it. And then Pillow-Swine. So it's kind of like a boar, but also like kind of like a mammoth, I guess. That's already a little more interesting. It says its legs are short, so it does have legs. Pillow-Swine can go a little higher than Swinub, I guess. Okay, why don't you come in between Cloyster and Shelder for some reason. Corsola. A coral Pokemon. The idea of a coral Pokemon is a good one. It's not a bad idea for Pokemon, but I can't say I feel that much about it. I mean, it's coral. It couldn't really move. Like, I think when you see it, it's always like immobile. So you're not that much to this one. It's got a little Kirby face. Although, there's the Galarian Corsola, which is like dead. It becomes a ghost type, and it just looks really depressed. That's really depressing when you think about the real coral problem that we have in the real world. But the idea that they actually turned the coral Pokemon into a ghost type because it died is interesting. And just because of that, I think I'm gonna put him higher. Just because I'm taking the CN form in mind. It deserves to be much higher. Maybe like here. Good job, you earned your place among greats. Remoraid. How the fuck does Remoraid evolve into Octillery? I feel like these should be two completely separate Pokemon. Remoraid, it's another one of these. It's straight up what it's based on. It's based on the Remora. It does the same thing a Remora does, which is latch on to another animal. And it makes for some interesting combination in the Pokemon world at least, but it looks about what you'd expect. I don't feel anything about Remora being less than these dudes. Here you go. But I'm also really puzzled why it would turn into Octillery. Could really have just been two completely separate Pokemon. But as a standalone Octillery, so it's like an octopus. They didn't have an octopus. Well, they had Tentacruel. But I guess it was meant more as a Medusa thing. And there's lots of really cool things you can do with an octopus, and it's kind of generic looking. Because an octopus is such a cool... I don't know, am I being too hard on it? I feel like octopus is such a cool animal, that there's so many cool things. I'm saying cool too many times again. It's such an interesting looking creature, an octopus. There's some really clever, like, creative designs you could come up with that, and it's just kind of that. It's kind of generic. I don't want to be too hard on it, I feel like it's not great, personally. Just because, again, not on its own, but just because of the wasted potential of an octopus. To me, it's not that great. It could be so much more. So maybe I'm being too hard on it, but... Delibird! Such a funny, creative idea for a Pokemon. It's a little Santa Claus bird. That's great. I assume the bag is not part of the body. In its tail? Wait, so the bag is the tail? Okay, that's really weird. It carries food in its tail. Okay, I didn't know the bag was the tail. That's kind of weird, but it's a really fun design. It's a good one. I would put it really high. I think even as high as this. It's a little Santa Claus bird. Like, what's not to love about that? Mantine. I don't know why they didn't put Mantine right next to Remoraid in the list, because they're obviously related to each other. 6 feet. Wow, almost 7 feet. It's very large. It's got a little happy face. It's somewhat simple looking, but it was fun to see them like swim around and leap above the waves in Pokemon Snap 2. I would say it's alright. I wouldn't go much higher than that. I feel like we're getting too many Pokemon and it's okay, but what can I say? A lot of them are just okay. Maybe somewhere there. Skarmory. Oh, I'm surprised Skarmory doesn't have any Mega Evolution. I thought it was one of the more popular ones, so you would think it would have one, but apparently not. I think Skarmory was kind of like the poster boy for the new Steel type when they introduced that type, and it fits that role well. A bird made of steel plates. I remember when I first played Silver and Gold, Skarmory was one of my favorites. I was like, oh, it's great. A steel bird. Great's getting a little crowded. Maybe I should move some of these up into peak Pokemon, you know? I think Skarmory would belong up there. Scyther can go in peak Pokemon. Totodile, 2. These ones 2. Sandslash, even above. I think Rhyhorn deserves to be higher. You know what? I think Kadabra deserves to be higher too. Alright, let's keep it like this for now. Handor and Houndoom. These are fairly popular with good reason. They are really cool. I know I'm saying cool again, but how else would you describe them? They're cool, you know? And I feel like they both have a place. They both deserve to exist. Houndour is like the smaller kind of puppy. He's not yet fully edgy, and then Houndoom was like, we've reached peak edginess. Dark Fire is also a cool combination. Same cool again. He really is just kind of like the cooler Growlithe, you know? I think it has to be at least as high as Growlithe, and then a little higher than it. He can be pretty high. Yeah, I might even say it's peak Pokemon. Then Houndoom. Just maybe a little too much on the nose, like it's got the forked tail and it's got a fucking skull like right here, and the horns. It's wait, there's a Mega Houndoom? Jesus, look at this thing. That looks straight out of hell. Which I guess is the point. Damn, that's a little overkill. I mean, you can't deny the epic factor of Houndoom. If you are burned by the flames from its mouth, the pain will never go away. Holy shit. They really like, let's just make the edgiest Pokemon ever. Do I like it better than Houndour or not? That's a tough one. I feel like it's almost a little overkill. Like they made like too edgy, but I don't know, it's... Oof. I think it belongs higher, because... Shit. This high? I don't know. Am I being too generous? I'm gonna leave him here for now. Alright, we're in the home stretch here. Kingdra evolves from Seadra, and it becomes a dragon type. And it's got kind of like the coral-looking appendages, which some seahorse have. I don't really feel much about Seadra. I do think Kingdra is a good evolution, though. It's definitely better. Maybe like here. Then you get Fampi. It's just so adorable. And I know there's like not much more to it than that, but like they really nailed the cuteness factor on this one. It's a tiny little elephant. It's definitely adorable. I'm not gonna put it that high. I guess over here. I thought maybe I would put it higher than that, but let's not go overboard with the cuteness. Donphan, another one that I first saw in the movie, and I was like, what the hell is that? I like that it's built with the strip so that it can roll, because it fits the gimmick. It's like an elephant, it's got the horns, and it can roll. It's a very cohesive design, and so I do enjoy that. Apparently its tackle is strong enough to knock down a house. Okay, even though it's only 3 feet tall. Donphan, I like how cohesive the design is. It really, it succeeds at the concept it's trying to be. And I like that. I think maybe here. Porygon 2. It is clever that they took the first Porygon that was like all polygonal and then they made it all smooth and it's like, oh, it's better graphics, like it's smoother now. But I have the same problem with it that I have with the first Porygon, which is, why does it exist? If it's virtual, if it's like a downloadable thing, how does it exist? How does it attack? What the fuck? Like, I don't like that. So I'll put it just higher than Porygon because it's like, oh, it's clever, it's smooth now. But why does it exist? What the fuck is a virtual Pokemon? Like, within the world, within the universe? Doesn't make sense to me. Alright, come stretch. Stantler. So its antlers are big eyes. And it's got a weird thing going on with its mouth. The antlers change the flow of air to create a strange space where reality is distorted. What the fuck does that mean? So it just like hypnotizes you with its antlers? This Pokemon was hunted close to extinction by those who were after the antlers. Well, that sucks. If you stare at its antlers, you gradually lose control of your senses. Does the antler make you lose control? What's that about? That's what I don't get. Why does it have this kind of mouth? It bothers me. Settler is alright. It's okay. There you go. Smeargle from Lord of the Rings. What is it? Is it a monkey? Is it like... what the fuck animal is it supposed to be? Beagle? What? It has nothing to do with a beagle. It doesn't look like a dog. So I guess it's supposed to... I guess the idea is it's wearing kind of like a beret and it's a painter. But it's not really a dog. It doesn't have like the black nose. It's not really a monkey either. I always confuse this one with Apom because they have something on the tip of their tail. I like the concept. I don't feel like it was realized that well. Like the color palette is kind of boring. It could be a little better, but it is an interesting idea. You know, this video is really exposing me and my language skills, where I only know the words clever, cool, interesting, cute. That's it. It's my only way I can qualify any of these fucking designs. I'm sorry, English is my second language. Okay. Smeargle is alright. You know, I think it's about as good as Apom. It's a little better than that. A little better, yeah. Quilava might be a little too high. There you go. That's better. Tyrogue. So it's another one of these baby types, and it's meant to be able to evolve into any of the other fighter types, which I'm not really a big fan of any of the fighter, like the Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Hitmon... Like, they just don't look like animals or creature like that would occur naturally, especially Hitmonchan. But if I forget these, and I look at it as like, oh, it's meant to be this like basic child type that can evolve into any of these, it works as that, it works. So I'll give it that. I mean, I still wouldn't put it that high, but maybe here. Then you get one of its evolution, Hitmontop. It's meant to be an equal to... That's the weird thing, is like all the Hitmon ones evolve from Tyrogue, but they don't look related at all. Like Hitmonlee is such a weird looking creature that's completely different from Hitmonchan, which when they weren't related made sense, but now they apparently all spring from the same Pokemon, which is Tyrogue. And so, in Hitmontop, I'd rather if like none of them were related. But as a standalone, Hitmontop is a great idea. It's because he spins on its head, and the minigame in Pokemon Stadium was so much fun. That was my favorite game in Pokemon Stadium 2, was the Hitmontop game. Can get maybe here. I'm being very generous. I never really thought about Hitmontop that much, but the Pokédex says if you become enchanted by its smooth, elegant, dance-like kicks, you may get drilled hard. Now don't threaten me with a good time. Alright, next. Smoochum. It turns into Jinx, which is one of the Pokemons I hate the most, but I will say it looks a lot better, which isn't a high bar to meet. Ew. The Pokédex says its lips are the most sensitive part on its body. It always uses its lips to examine things. It rocks its head slowly backwards and forwards as if trying to kiss someone. So the whole Pokemon is based around the concept of kissing, but it's a baby. I don't like that. I mean, it's better than Jinx, so it does have rights, but it's not great. You can go maybe here. Elekid, on the other hand. Elekid I like a lot, and I like more than Electabuzz, which I never liked the design of Electabuzz. But Elekid is very spunky. You can see what they fucking did with the ears to look like an electric plug, but it's made in a way where you could believe where like it occurred naturally. Like I can buy it. The fucking Thunderbolt on the front, still on the nose. Like it's one of these things that wouldn't happen naturally, but I can give it a pass, I guess. There's something really fun about this design, so it's a little more than okay. I would say it's like a... It's not better than Pichu. Okay, Pichu can go at the bottom here, and you can go at the top there. Yeah, that's better, I think. Magby. It's a baby Magmar. Again, Magmar absolutely hate it. And they just made a baby version of it for some reason. Was it necessary? I mean, he's better than Magmar, which again, that's not saying much. It's still not great though. Hey, it's a lot better than Magmar, at least, you know? The head, like why does it have that kind of head, and like, I don't know, I don't like it. Miltank, which is 100% female, so how does it reproduce? I don't know. It's supposed to be a counterpart to Tauros. Okay, so and Tauros, I guess. I don't know, Miltank looks too young. Like its design almost looks like a baby. Like I thought it was a baby Tauros, honestly, but it's not. It's like its female equivalent. I mean, thinking about a cow and cow udders kind of grosses me out. So I don't really want to think about that. And that's the whole gimmick of this Pokemon. It's like it's a cow and it's got udders and it like shoots milk or something. But you know, for what the assignment was, I guess they did an alright job. Like, I don't like it, but I can't put it in the negative because it's not really anything wrong with it. Miltank. Ugh. Let's put it here, I guess, at the bottom of okay. Blissey. Now, as I mentioned when I was ranking Chansey, I put Chansey pretty low because I feel like Blissey is what they were going for with Chansey. Like, it's a better version of it. Anyone who takes even one bite of Blissey's egg becomes unfailingly caring and pleasant to everyone. The world could really use more Blissey. think everyone on the internet could use a bite of a Blissey egg. Well, it needs to be at least higher than Chansey, that's for sure. I do like it. Not like that much, but maybe here. Alright, we're in the legendary. Raikou. One of the legendary beasts. Races across the land, shoots thunderbolts at will. It embodies the speed of lightning. So yeah, it's based on like kind of the legendary thunder beast of like Japanese folklore, which is cool. I do like it though. I think it deserved to be pretty high. Yeah, something about the head is weird. I think they could have done a better job with the head, but it's kind of hard to rank these legendary ones. Am I being too generous? You can keep company to Articuno. You guys can chill between legendaries. Then you get Entei. Not Entei. Entei. Now this one, they did a better job with, I think. You get more the vibe they were going for. It's got like that mustache look, like it's an old sage or something. The smoke coming out of its back. It's like a volcano Pokemon, and when you look at it, it's kind of what you, the feel you get is like, oh, you can see it jumping out of a volcano. One is born every time a new volcano appears. Okay, so there's not just one. Like, it looks very dignified, and you can also kind of see what they based it on, like other mythical creatures. I think it's better than Raikou. You know what? I think I put Raikou too high. Go chill with Moltres instead. And Entei gets to keep rising up. Right there at the bottom. Pretty peak Pokemon, I guess. But then Suicune. Suicune's gotta be really popular, isn't it? I feel like you see it a lot. To me, it's not quite as cohesive as Entei, but it's a little more memorable. It's a little more unique looking. So maybe here. It's getting hard. There's so many of these. It's getting really hard to move these around. Larvitar. So I saw what they did here. They kind of did their take on the Raiden. It's born deep underground and becomes a pupa after eating enough dirt to make a mountain. Feeds on soil. After it has eaten a large mountain, it will fall asleep so it can grow. But it's not a bug. They gave it this little nasty look. It's giving the stink eye. And the idea of like this little underground creature that eats soil and then transforms into something bigger is pretty cool. Here, maybe? Let's say here. Then it turns into Pupitar. I guess it's like a big shell while it like mutates inside of it and turns into its final form. So it's like a Metapod. Instead of being a little bug, it's like of a higher level ground Pokemon. Its trashing can topple a mountain. I don't think you guys understand how hard it is to topple a mountain. Even sealed in its shell, it can move freely. It already has arms and legs under its solid shell. Huh. So they really just went for like the cooler Metapod with this. Okay, cooler Metapod, then you can go ahead of Metapod. And then finally, its final form, Tyranitar. I do find it really interesting that you can still see the shape of the Pupitar as its chest, and then like it's just kind of grew out of it. So it incorporates its second form. That's clever. Mega Tyranitar. Look at this thing. Holy crap. It just fits it's like the Raiden of this generation. That's literally what it is. Or like the Nidoking. For that, it works well. Its body cannot be harmed by any sort of attack. Okay. See, they love to put that shit in the Pokédex, but then you play in the game and you just get hit by a fucking Meowth and you're dead. It can change the landscape by how extremely strong it is. It has an insolent nature that makes it not care about others. That's not very nice. What an edgelord we have here. It's about as cool as a Raiden. Like wherever I put the Raiden, you can go right next to that. Oh, Raiden's pretty high actually. Actually, you can go next to Nidoking, because they're very similar. Alright, we're in the final ones. Lugia. Lugia I saw in the movie, like most people I would imagine. I like the design. It is a little weird that it has hands for wings, but it's very unique looking. Is Lugia as big as it is in the movie? 17 feet, I guess it is. It spends time at the bottom of the sea because its powers are too strong. It was really epic to see it in the movie, and like I think it talked to Ash and stuff like that. I mean, it's very iconic. It would probably go in peak Pokemon, right? Fucking Lugia? Maybe bottom? Like, I mean, I like it, I'm not that crazy about it, but it's so iconic and unique. I think maybe bottom peak Pokemon. I'm hurrying up now because I have to go eat dinner. Uh-oh. It is wild as shit that you saw Uh-oh in the very first episode of the anime, like years before the second generation came out. Honestly, I've never really felt that strongly about Uh-Oh. I think it's because its face is always like, ah! Like, it feel like it should be like really noble and like peaceful looking, but it's always like looking fucking... It looks too angry for what it's supposed to be, you know? And for that, I feel like they kind of missed the... They kind of missed the mark on that bit. Other than that, it's just kind of a bird. I mean, it's not... For what it is and what it could be, it is rather generic when you think about it. So for me, it wouldn't really be that high. Maybe here? Am I being too hard on Uh-Oh? I don't know, it's never really done it for me. Then the final Pokemon of the Johto generation, Celebi. I've never... This is kind of where I dropped from the anime. I didn't watch the movie that has Celebi in it, but I always did think that it... Like I said in the first video, what Mew was supposed to be, I feel like Celebi accomplished it better, like this little legendary fairy thing. I know that's not really what Mew is supposed to be, but I just always liked it better. So like, wherever I put Mew, it would be at least above that. I'll put Celebi maybe here? No, higher than that. Maybe like here. I don't know if that's being too hard on it or too generous even. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Celebi. Wow. Man, that was only 100 more. There's still so many more left. There's still like all of this. Jesus. You know, I was thinking like, oh, you need, no, in the first video I did 150. Maybe in the second video I can do like generation 2 and 3. But no, this shit takes too long, man. It has to be one generation per video, so I'm sorry, but that's it for Johto. I'm sure you disagree with a lot, if not most of these. But you know, that's the fun of making tier lists. It's tricky with Pokemon because there's so many of them. Like, it's one thing to rank like, oh, I'm gonna rank my Pokemon games from favorite to worst, or but with Pokemon there's like so many. So if you've watched the whole way through this video, please leave a comment, tell me your thoughts on the rankings. I'm probably gonna take another break from Pokemon ranking until I'm done with a few playthroughs. Like, I'm gonna spread these out because it's all, you know. I had fun recording this, so I hope you had fun watching it, and that you will catch me in the next video for more Pokemon rankings. Adios.